sitting here in front of the gear that we have talked about for a long time, not just this record, but we've talked about showing you guys kind of our little secrets on getting the Stryper tone. And it's really nothing complicated. It's really basic and really simple. It's pretty much as simple as it comes. But yet at the same time, there's something that's very important in the chain. We'll start you off down here. What we have going here is we're going into a tuner, obviously, so we can tune on the fly. And then out of the tuner into a Tech 21 SansAmp Paradriver DI. And what that does is it's basically a floor, a pedal, floor model that recreates what we used to do in the past with the Furman PQ3, because it has a parametric EQ built into it, single band. And we set this, you know, anywhere. Right now it's set at about 500. In the old days we used to set it at about between 800 and 1K. Sometimes we go on this as high as like 750, but right now on this record, that's what's different. We're at 500, so it's giving it a little thicker sound and not so high-endy. You know, in the upper frequencies, in the distortion, it's not so sizzly and bitey. So it's kind of nice. It really worked out great, and we're cranking that, so we're boosting however many dBs this adds of that frequency. So I'm guessing it's probably maybe 15 to 18 dB of that frequency. We're cutting some lows, whatever that frequency is set to. It's a preset frequency. I'm guessing maybe 100 or 120, maybe even a little higher, 150. And then we're cutting some highs. So that's probably anywhere from 3 to 5K. I'll have to talk to Tech 21 to find out. And then the level, when we boost this, it gives us a lot more gain. And that's really important for Stryper, for the Stryper sound. It's just this really gainy, driving the front end of any amp that we're running through to give us that real gainy sustain that we like, and then cleaning up the distortion by cutting the lows and adding some of that mid frequency. It gives it that notched out, almost like a parked wah sound, but yet much thicker than a parked wah. We've tried it with the wah, and it's just too thin. More like the Michael Schenker tone. This is a little more like Michael Schenker on steroids. You know, it's just a fatter, cocked, parked wah kind of vibe. And the big difference is, you know, typically, you know, everybody knows that over the years we've been boogie guys, and you know, boogie amps have been good to us, and that's definitely been a part of the Stryper tone. But recently, I contacted Orange and asked them if we could get on loan a Thunderverb 200. And that's what this head is. This is a Thunderverb 200 made by Orange, made in England. And it's a 200 watt KT88, 4 KT88s. The transformers are massive. This is probably the heaviest guitar amp head you'll ever pick up. It's really, really ridiculously heavy. But that's part of the reason why it has so much headroom. You're able to turn this thing up, and it's got this incredibly punchy, tight, loud headroom. It doesn't break up, you know, in a bad way. It breaks up in a really great way. So it gives us just the Stryper sound, man, that we've been kind of wanting to achieve for a while. We've been playing through this thing on this record. We'll show you a little sample later when we end the video. We've been playing through this thing, and every time we plug into this thing, Oz, you can nod with the camera. Every time we plug into this thing, we would both say, wow, you know, because it's just got something to it that's just amazing. Clarity and punch and definition. And we're running that out of the 4 ohm output into this cabinet, which has also been a surprise, because normally we run Mesa Boogie cabinets with vintage 30s. This cabinet is a Jet City 412 cab, and it has Eminence speakers in it, okay? And they're made in China. They're not even made, the ones made here in America. They're made in China, and this is assembled in China. So it's a relatively cheap cabinet, inexpensive. I think you can buy these for $350 at Musician's Friend. My price is better than that, hopefully, but your price is $350. And I tell you, for a cab, 412 cab, that's pretty amazing. And not just that, but the icing on the cake, this cab sounds amazing. It sounds A-B'd up against the vintage 30 412 cab. It sounds better. It's got a nicer low end and a smoother mid-range, and it just sounds phenomenal. It's a great cab. I highly recommend this cab. Highly recommend this head. You know, interestingly enough, too, something that I thought I'd point out that's kind of cool. If you get in closer, as you can see, the orange is on play.
Yes.
So
yeah,
we're using that. If you get down here and you notice, this is not only on standby, but it's off. So that's how amazing this orange sounds, believe it or not. For guys that have been, you know, advocates and just been using, you know, boogies our whole lives, basically. And boogies are great amps, but I mean, this is just the shining star on this record. It just, no pun intended. Danny Bernini, and we are at Spirit House, and we will go nowhere else to make records.
that's right.
We made Murder by Pride here. Well, most of it and mixed it. We made the covering here, all of it. And we're making this record here, all of it. So, Danny's the man. And this is a little bit of a new song that you're hearing right here. The way we have it set without the Tech 21, it's dark. And some of you might say, oh, that sounds kind of muddy. Well, it's set that way on purpose because you have to kind of achieve the right tone out of the head and then the right tone out of the Tech 21, and the combination of the two give us the Stryper sound. So the head without the Tech 21 is a little muddy and a little dark. There's the orange without the Tech 21. Very fat, straight in kind of sound, straight in ahead kind of sound, and it is. It's really, and I'm at a low volume, and the reason why we're doing that is so we don't distort the mic on the camera. But this thing will rip your head off. It has this attenuator, and if I turn that all the way to the left, it's full volume right now, and I turn up the volume, it will shake everything off the walls in this room. It's blaring loud head, clean, punchy. Amazing sounding head, and it's so punchy. They describe it that this head can actually deliver a true all the way down to 30 hertz clean without distortion, which is why you can also use this for bass. Okay, so it's almost like cutting an SVT in half and using it for guitar, but with guitar distortion. So it's just an awesome head. Okay, so. Without Tech 21, show you a little, play a little bit of a Stryper song without the Tech 21. So that kind of gives you an idea of what that would sound like without the Tech 21. And, you know, it would probably work for a lot of people, but not for Stryper, because we just wanted our own thing, and here's what the Tech 21. You know, so it just gives you that. Without. Just makes everything kind of, you know, compresses it a little bit. It makes it tighter, and when you chunk, sustains better, cleans up the distortion. Really a great box, and I've been using that box for a long time. I'm trying to talk Oz into using one and getting one. What do you think, Oz? You want me to order you one?
I'll stick to my pod.
I'm using pod too. I'm using a pod too. Pods are great for what they are, but that's a really cool box, man. It's a box that, you know, I don't know if there's many people out there that really use it for that purpose. I think it's more for bass and acoustic guitar. not so much for distorted guitar. But anyway, so that's our setup. I mean, it's really, I got the hush. We always use the hush when we record, Oz and I. And we have this in the channel just to give you an idea of the noise. That's without it. That's without it. That's with it. So it just gets rid of all the hiss and all the hum. You know? And it's kind of nice. It doesn't really alter the tone too much. It does a little bit, but not bad, like most gates do. One other thing we wanted to share with you guys is we're looking for a certain tone for the end of Loud and Clear. And if you guys recall, all you fans out there, we had this explosion at the end of Loud and Clear. And we wanted to come up with something different, so I think it was Oz. Did you just drop this? You picked it up and kind of dropped it?
Yeah. You pick up the side of it.
Picked up the side of the head here,
and
the
let
orange.
it kind of just you know.
You dropped it.
You just pick it up about that much and then let it go.
And it made this reverb explosion sound.
Yeah.
We did 3 times, and it's the end of Loud and Clear, and it sounded something like this. You ready?
Yeah. Is it on? Yep, it's on.
Here it goes. Something like that.
Dude, that scared the pants off of me.
And that is now.
That's the best.
Now the important thing, if you go up to here, you may do damage to the head. So we had it at about maybe an inch, and that's all it takes. And the weight of this bad boy brought it down, made the right sound, and that's the end of Loud and Clear. So there you go. And Oz, the way we did this is I did a track through the orange, and then I did a track through the boogie, and then Oz did a track through the orange, and Oz did a track through the boogie. But again, this is just the head of the session, man. Phenomenal. So that's it. I'm probably rambling now. It's as simple as that. Jet City Cab, check them out. Orange Head, check them out.